Welcome back to another episode of the Leftist Skeptic podcast. With me, your host, Rayan Sharifi. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about, well, what I put in the title representation of other races in video games, right? So, I wanted to touch on this topic because it's a topic that as a person of color, okay, am um it's something that is it makes me happy. I don't know. Whenever there's representation of video games, um it doesn't matter if the representation is a person of color or a different gender or what you're into, if you know what I mean. Representation is a good thing because the truth is the world is not just black and white, you know what I mean? The world is there's different cultures, there's different people, um tr- there's different sexual orientations, there's different genders, there's like the world is not the same. The world has a lot of differences, and that's a good thing. Multiculturalism is a good thing, and it's a really good thing and kind of cool when it's in video games because there are a lot of people of different backgrounds who have or maybe different genders who also like playing video games. There are many women who play video games. Of course, it's not as much as the amount of men who play video games, but there are a lot of women who play video games. So, of course, that means we got to add some representation. And my favorite form of representation for women is Atsu from Ghost of Yote. I think we talked about her in the last episode, but still, she's one of my favorite female protagonists. I never really had a favorite female protagonist until I played Atsu from Ghost of Yote. Um, to be honest, I never played any other Resident Evil games, so I don't really know much. I've only watched some of the goats play it, like Corey Kenshin and stuff. But yeah, now me, I am a man who comes from a mixed Arabic background. So naturally, I would also want representation in video games as well, but not harmful representation. Arabs in video games have had very harmful representations from the Call of Duty games and vice versa. Um, we're always labeled as terrorists and as barbaric people, but hey, what sells sells. And that's the dark truth, man. What sells sells. Um, but inaccurate representation of the Middle East, maybe inaccurate representation, or my favorite accurate representation of Arabs and stuff like that, is from Assassin's Creed Mirage. I know the game is not as good, but I don't really care about that. I care about the representation of Muslims and Arabs being how it probably was in the Abbasid era of the Islamic Golden Age, because that's when the Islamic Golden Age was around during the Abbasid Caliphate. Now, of course, Basim is not perfect, but it's close to what we have of Arabic representation in video games. But yeah, so there is also another form of Arabic representation that I also like in Assassin's Creed, and that is Altair. Altair is known to be from Syria, meaning he has to be Syrian, and he probably is Syrian. And I like that. I like how Altair is the first guy, and it's like this is historically accurate because the assassins were originally a Muslim group. I don't know much history on the assassins, but I do know they have some links to Islam, the accurate assassins, and that's cool. That's really cool. But there are many other forms of representation that I could go on that promisely or probably my fault, people, will make this video really long. So I'm just gonna give you a couple forms of representation in video games from the top of my head if I know. I really like this other character from, let's see, Cyberpunk. Yeah. Cyberpunk has many forms of Latino representation in their games. That being Jackie, Jackie Wells, and um, Judy Alvarez. So they're the only Latino characters that I could think of from the top of my head in the game. Jackie is like the side character you get to know and you really like at the start of the game. And the sad part is he dies literally at the end of the heist you do at the very start of the game, where you steal the relic. If you know, you know. And then Judy is a woman that you meet from one of the characters, Evelyn, and you get to know her more. She doesn't die or anything like that, but you do get to know her more. And what's really cool is she also has a form of sexual representation as well, especially when you play as V as a female. You get to romance her. So that's a really good form of sexual representation and culture representation. Which, yeah, embracing who you are, it doesn't matter if you bring it out much or not. As long as you know who you are and you want to bring it out, bring it out. That's the strongest form of being true to yourself as possible. But, it's something that we all as people have to understand that the world is it's big and it's full of many things. So, if we can have a world where video games have a representation of all the cultures, all the sexualities, all of the genders in the world, then I feel like we would have a good world, in my opinion. But that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching the Left the Skeptic podcast. Drop a like and drop a subscribe and turn that notification bell icon so you don't miss another episode of the Left the Skeptic podcast. And as always, peace out.